Double P E L.
E-L?
E-L.
E-L?
That's it.
Keppel. La Keppel.
Laag Keppel.
Okay.
You should,
Precies.
Keppel.
Laag
And
Keppel.
What do you think the city next to it is called?
Hoog Keppel. Damn it.
1 point for Philip.
Hello, and welcome to the Duo Power Podcast.
Your speed skating podcast, where we talk about everything speed skating related, inline and long track.
The last 15 years of speed skating have brought us lifelong lessons, memories and friendships, as well as a trip to the Olympics and lives as full-time professional athletes.
In this podcast, we talk with friends and fellow speed skaters.
We bring you behind-the-scene portraits, as well as race reports, training philosophy, inside stories from the skating world, and much more.
This podcast is brought to you by the Duo Brothers. I'm Philip Duesmith.
And I'm Stephen Duesmith.
Hope you enjoy listening.
Hello and welcome to the Duo Power Podcast. We are right now in Inzell in July recording this during the very first bit of summer ice. Today we're sitting here in a hotel room with two other marathon skaters from the marathon team, Jumbo-Visma, and it's this new team that just started this year. It's an expansion of the Jumbo-Visma team, which there's already a long track team for a lot of years, which is for most people considered the best ice skating team in the world, both on men's side and women's side. And this year they also put together a marathon team, marathon is still a very Dutch thing, but it's still a marathon team consisting of some of the very best Dutch speed skaters or marathon skaters on that team. So today we're lucky enough to sit down with two of them and two of our friends. It's to my left with a great safety distance of at least 1.5 meters and masks and alcohol and everything, of course. We have Visser. And here to my right, we have a friend of the podcast, and I think it's the third time, maybe now, from Casper de Gier.
So, yeah.
Yeah, third time. So you're the record breaker from the podcast for the most frequent guest. We had special episodes with you about recap of inline season, and you're here as one of the first guests in our season 2 of the Duo Power Podcast, and we're back, right, Philip?
Yeah, we're back. So yeah, the last podcast was like you said, advice and say, and then you went to Ecuador. So we have also been separated, and you've been in Ecuador and been in full lockdown. So it hasn't really been possible for us to make any podcast. So it'll be fun.
It must have been really nice from you to be away from me for that many months. You're nodding. We should get into it. To begin with, we'll of course, as always, just do a quick introduction of the two of you, and to start with the young gun of this table. Of course, we have Visser, just 19 years old, from Friesland, a true Fries. And you inlined all the way since you were 6 years old, started later on ice with long track, as a lot of Dutch kids from Friesland with long track, 10 years old. As soon as you could have the distance a little bit longer, you started going into that in your teenage years and started doing marathons through Junior C, Junior B. Also became back-to-back marathon junior champion a few times, and of course you also have taken medals at junior European Championships on inline. So welcome, Harm.
Thank you.
And we have, as we said, our favorite from the podcast, Casper de Gier, and you've had your introduction a few times, but I think this time we have a new information, and you're from Laag Keppel, which I just learned now, which is famous for
the Avico. And that's all the fries in Holland. They were made originally in Laag Keppel. So I'm really proud of coming from Laag Keppel.
But you don't eat fries, do you?
Never, no.
What? That's no. Too bad. Yeah. To continue your introduction a little bit, like I'll keep this short because we introduced you a few times. But you were good as a cadet, and you were actually a bit of a sprinter when you were younger on inline, when you started inline. And then up through your junior years, if you were to say so yourself, you said you had some hard years, crashing and not really being the highest level you would, but kept on working full as always. That's your mentality, I know, from knowing you well. And in senior, it started to pay off. And from European Championships in Pamplona, you have a senior European Championship medal as well. So that says a lot about your level on inline. And then, of course, with marathon, which is now your main focus, I guess, that's really where you've really shown your potential and also your level. And that's still from quite a young age in the sport of marathon. So we're sitting here with, is it the two youngest guys of the Jumbo-Visma Marathon Team?
Yeah,
it is? Yeah. So 19 and then 24 and then
the next one, we have two 27 years old, Mats and Robert. And then we have the two grandpas of the team, Ingmar Berga and Erik-Jan Kooijman. They are 34 and 35.
Oh, the experienced guys. We'll come back to the team and talk a lot about them. And we prepared something special for you guys as well when it comes to the team. But we'll come to that. That comes later. So
right.
Yeah. So the first topic is a little bit like we said, the Corona. Yeah, how's it been for you guys, like, the last months, just to, like, how's it been different from other years, training at home or training alone, or how has it been in general?
Yeah, we didn't do any inline competitions. It was, it was really okay for us, training a little bit individual, and we started our first trains camp in June, the first week of June, so for us it was, pretty okay. First month training alone, but for us.
Yeah, I could say I really needed it some way. So you hear a lot about people talking about the reset they have made, but when you're combining inline and ice, like on a high level, then sometimes you really need a break. And now afterwards, when you had the break, you can really feel like, oh, my batteries are fully loaded to 100% instead of going to 98 and then beginning again. So that's really a big difference.
Yeah, for me, honestly, it was the same. Like, I was ready to go into the inline season as well. You know how it is when ice season finishes in February or March. You start stressing in March about getting in shape for April races a little bit. But this year we were kind of forced to take that break, which for me was actually quite good, I think. And but it's been different for everyone. But I also think I was in Ecuador the whole lockdown, and from what I could hear when talking with Philip, it was a little bit different sometimes in Denmark or maybe also in Holland. I don't know how were the restrictions in Holland during this time? Yeah,
the first couple of weeks it was kind of heavy, relatively. Yeah. We were really stay inside, only get outside if it's really necessary. So for the shopping and then only for shopping, to be honest. But afterwards they really made it more easy, and people were easy in the minds a little bit more, and
But how's the whole setup, like, in general here in this camp? We heard, like, a lot of people talk about this food truck that Jumbo brought, like, a big food truck for all of you. Is it, like, only food and, like, you can just get quality food, or there's a kitchen and you get food from there, or do you eat at restaurants? What's the... the setup?
They make food for us, and we just come in and eat our food they make. Yeah. It's for everybody the same. We all three teams have the same facilities.
So it's like a stroopwafel with hagelslag on top.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah. No, it's just really
prohibited.
Yeah.
Now that we were talking about the Danish team, it's like, I bet the Dutch food truck is like filled with like speculoos cream. And
no, we have to smuggle it in the cart and hide it in the room, because if they see it downstairs, no, man.
Yeah. I just want to say, I've seen Jumbo-Visma athletes up at the gelato. I've seen people eating ice cream. Yeah, is there not ice cream in the food truck? Or?
Yeah, to be honest, we have.
You have ice cream there?
Tiramisu.
So it's double ice cream. You have tiramisu?
We had brownies, tiramisu.
They make it any healthy, but...
vanilla yogurt. We had carrot cake today. So, all healthy.
Yeah.
So, it's always a walking buffet. So you can take what you want. But furthermore, it's for them, it's like the protocol for the bicyclists. So they do exactly the same. But only then for us it's easy. We don't have the personal plate style, so you have your weight scale and only so many grams of carbohydrates and stuff. But yeah, it's all bragging, I know. But for us, that doesn't really matter. We don't have to skate up a hill.
Yeah. I know how you are with your food, though. I've seen it with weighing and stuff.
Yeah, but with all the teams, you have the food truck together. But how is the cooperation in general? Like, do you train with the others, or is it really separated with the marathon team and the long track teams?
It's a little bit separated. Everybody has its own schedule. Like also in the long track team, there are several schedules. For us, it's just with our team, one schedule, and sometimes when our training fits in their schedule, we do it together, but not every time.
Yeah, but also in our training, the schedule is based per individual. So it could be that Harm has a different schedule from me, and of course, during a training camp like this, you combine as much as possible to get the 1 + 1 is 3 effect.
Yeah.
It's based on the tests.
Okay.
Also,
which tests are those? Can you like kind of say how is it with a team? Like how do they test? What do they test? And
a lot.
Yeah,
we can fill a couple of hours with it, but yeah, of course. You what test do you do to?
I did one this morning. I had to wake up earlier than the others to have breakfast and then do a VO2 max test on the bike.
That's a famous
with
one
oxygen
we do as well. Yeah.
And it was horrible because then so it was like 2 different tests. It was like a step test with breaks in between. Then the last minute is a 5-minute progressive anaerobic test, and at the end of that you're kind of fucked. So then it's like, yeah, I can see you're kind of fucked, but I still want to see what you can do in 1 minute. So then it was 1 minute all out. So then I was like falling off the bike, laying there, and Philip was next to me with a cardboard, like giving me air like this, trying to cool me down. And then Jesper left the room and he was like, yeah, I starts in 20 minutes. See you there. And I was like, damn it.
and did you make it on time?
No, I came there and I had to knock. Okay, so
you were pretty quick. I would say, like, we talked about him. We said, like, he's never going to make it. He was laying on the ground, and I was like, okay, he has ice now, and then bike training. I was like, this is a crazy day. But yeah, he made it, like, after the first maybe 7 laps of the lap program today, so that's good.
But yeah, so we do those tests like lactate and oxygen, and I think our coach is he has a big approach with that. But I think from the outside with Jumbo-Visma, and for a lot of people, they know that the way of Jumbo-Visma is also to do a lot of tests. But like, can you just talk about which kind of tests do you do it on the bike or on the skates, or how do you do it?
Yeah, it's all on the ergometer. And also we did a test on the inline, lactate. So building up in heart rate, and then you get some blood, lactate, it's this. And then a little bit more speed, it's a little bit higher. Yeah. And then they can estimate what your threshold power for a threshold heart rate is on inlines. And then you can have more specific training zones on the inline.
Yeah.
And of course, we have the VO2 max as well. We have the Wingate.
Is that, sorry to interrupt, is that in line with ice technique?
No, this time we did on inline technique.
Oh, nice. Yeah. A nice team training with inline technique.
Yeah.
How innovative. Okay, continue, sorry.
Yeah. So, and then we have the VO2 max and the Wingate. So that's 2 tests that don't need any more explanation, I think. The Wingate is just 30 seconds full gas, and then after 5 seconds you think, I'm already dead, and then the trainer shouts, 25 more, and you're like, fuck, man, I'm not going to make it.
I think I want to thank, on behalf of the whole skating community, Jumbo-Visma for uploading the videos of all the marathon skaters doing the Wingates, because I was watching, I was like, oh, that's Harm, yeah, that looks good, oh, that's Casper, that looks good, and then we came to some of the marathon skaters. Like,
we want names.
They looked horrible, for sure.
I know those guys. I know how fucking strong they are on the bike and on breakaways in marathons, but also like a Wingate test for marathon skaters. Sometimes it's like it's a little bit different. Was that a politically correct enough answer? I think
for sure.
Yeah. We can fill it in for you. So that's okay.
Yeah, no names now. I think actually there might be a chance that you will have to do that for us later. Anyway, that was a small hint. So with the testing and everything, is that like a big difference from like you both skated on teams like Bauer and Select on the Beloften days?